तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and we are in the conversations of 2nd February 1884 and we are several devotees arrived from Shivpur. From there it has started. Why do we not feel intense restlessness to realize God? And Thakur is giving the example. A man does not feel restless for God until all his worldly desires are satisfied. He does not remember the mother of the universe until his share of the enjoyment of woman and gold is completed. That means he has to indulge in that till discriminatingly he comes out, not automatically. Otherwise it will never end. A child absorbed in play does not seek his mother. So the child's example is given that child's need for the mother is always there, but it does not feel it if he is engaged in sport. And this being engaged in sport, how much time he will play is absolutely uncertain. But now, which is first? He does not like the play, so he wants mother. Or the need for the mother becomes stronger, and so he stops the play. But we see that only when the play is over, he cries for mother. And then his desire is so intense to go to mother. And his faith is so strong that we shall see. But after his play is over, he says, Mother, I must go to my mother. Hriday's son was playing with the pigeons, calling to them, come, tea. When he had enough of play, he began to cry. He did not even say mother, he began to cry. Then a stranger came and said, come with me, I will take you to your mother. Unhesitatingly, he climbed on the man's shoulders and was off. So, faith, because of his intense desire to go to mother, the faith also becomes tremendous. Those who are eternally free, now exceptions. This is the common rut of man. Those who are eternally free do not have to enter worldly life. So the question is why we do not feel. So in generality of the public it has been described, but does not mean that that is for all. There are exceptional souls. Their desire for enjoyment has been satisfied with their very birth. They do not feel any desire for enjoyment. At 5 o'clock, so that topic is over actually. Yes, we have started the next topic. Where were we? We have finished this reading. We're over. We're over. That is yesterday's. Oh. Okay. Okay. You have done that. Now he's talking about householders and sannyasis, and he says sannyasi's life is an ideal. And so even if he has subjugated his senses, he should keep away from woman and gold so that the others feel that it can be done. And they will feel the need of it and the inspiration of it. And that is the role of the sannyasi in the society. Then example of Janaka is given. And then I said to the Divine Mother, "Oh Mother, I don't want to be a dry sadhu." Here we are stopped. So dry sadhu means Vedanti sadhus in general lay emphasis on the transcendent nature of Brahman, and so their life becomes dry. But there are sadhus who imbibe Vedanta in its real spirit, which tells us that Brahman is transcendent and immanent. Brahman is beyond all and Brahman is himself all. So, that is the full truth. And because Thakur is an ideal incarnation, so he wants to live a life demonstrating the full truth. That is the meaning. Not that he wants to enjoy this or that. Don't imagine. He wants to, in his life, the truth in full should be demonstrated. And we have seen again and again in Thakur. He goes into Nirvikalpa Samadhi many a times while talking. So, and any little suggestion sends him there. But he lives in the world, taking world to be the play of Brahman, and there he has purpose because his incarnation. He has to teach people, he has to show his example. So all those things are there. But the main point here is that Thakur, being the real Vedanti, wants that in his life the Vedantic truth should be revealed in full. After attaining Brahmajnana, one does not have to discriminate even about food. Even about food. That means one need not discriminate between real and unreal because everything for him is a manifestation of Brahman. So even keeping distance from woman or any such thing, he need not discriminate. But another point there is, in order to realize Brahman, the sadhus in general observe a lot of regulations about food because it is the food which causes the mind. And so they must eat pure food. But after realization of Brahman, they need not observe anything. That is the point. Because their mind is not, there is no chance of their mind becoming polluted. Their mind is established in Brahman. The rishis of olden times, he is giving an example, endowed with the knowledge of Brahman. Not all rishis, huh? Some rishis were strugglers. But those rishis who had realized Brahman, about them Thakur is talking. And having experienced divine bliss, ate everything even pork. So pork is considered as the most unholy food, and yet they were not to be polluted. As an ideal example of this, we have Bhagwan Buddha himself. His health was not keeping all right. He had become very, very old. And he was invited by a Chandal, an outcast. And it was clear that what the Chandal will feed him. So his disciple Ananda told him, please do not accept that. It will affect your health. Buddhadev said, if he has invited me, I must go. And whatever he offers, I must eat. And so the Chandala served him this pork. And he ate it. And as expected, his stomach problem increased tremendously. Then he gave up his body in samadhi. But from outside, the cause was the increase of the stomach problem. But he did not refuse. That is a sannyasi who has realized God. To Mahima. All this talk is going to Mahima. First, Thakur asked Mahima to practice some devotion. And Mahima kept quiet. So Thakur understood it is not suitable to his mentality. And then he said, I will talk according to your mentality. And then he started talking of Vedanta. Now, to Mahima, generally speaking, there are two kinds of yoga. Yoga means normally union with God. Karma yoga and mano yoga. So, remember here, what yogas we know? Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, raja yoga. Swami Vivekananda said, I have generalized them into four. So this four nomenclature is due to Swami Vivekananda. Otherwise, there is Kundalini yoga, Nada yoga, hundreds of ways to realize Brahman. So Thakur is giving a different classification. Karma yoga, mano yoga. So through karma to be united with God and through mind to be united with God. And he says, generally speaking, these are the two ways. That is to say, union with God through work and through the mind. One time. Now we'll come to that, but he is describing the stages of life according to Indian tradition. There are four stages of life. Brahmacharya, Garhastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. During the first three stages, a man has to perform his worldly duties. Brahmacharya Ashrama, a lot of worldly duties, discipline. And Grihastha has Vanaprastha also. Vanaprastha is that enough of this householder's life, I go to a forest. But the sufficient vairagya has not come. And so there are a lot of worldly duties. The sannyasi carries only his staff, Dandisam, water pot and begging bowl. Kamandalu for water and begging bowl for bhiksha. He too may perform certain nitya karma. Dandiswamis do perform. But his mind is not attached to it. So it is mostly mechanically. He is not conscious of doing such work. In his bodha, there is no work. Just some old habits may be there. Some sannyasis perform nitya karma to set an example to the world. If you want the modern example, which strikes me rather strange, but now through Thakur's gospel I can understand them. The Shankaracharyas, if when people go to have his darshan, he is always engaged in some ritual. No, understand? That is because people should see. If a householder or a man belonging to the other stages of life performs action without attachment, then he is united with God through such action. So, Karma Yoga, he explains. In the case of a Paramahansa who has transcended everything, is called Paramahansa. Like Shukadeva, all karmas, all puja, japa, tarpan, sandhya, and so forth drop away. It is not possible for him to perform. In this state, so is called Atyashrami Sannyasi or Paramahansa Sannyasi. The other was a Dandi Swami. In this state, a man communes with God through the mind alone. So that is Thakur's Mano Yoga. That it does not require some action to feel united with God. No action. Only mind gets connected with God. Sometimes he may be pleased to perform outward activities for the welfare of mankind, but his recollection and contemplation of God remain uninterrupted. Recollection and contemplation सर्वदा स्मरण मनन থাকে বাইরের কর্ম কখনো কখনো সাথ করে করে লোক শিক্ষা যায়. So he also wants to teach people, so he also can do as an instrument of God. But karma does not distract his mind. That is the main point here. It was about 8 o'clock in the evening, so that session is over. Sri Ramakrishna asked Mahimacharya, and Mahima was still there, to recite a few hymns from the scriptures. It is to Mahimacharya's maximum liking and useful for other people also. Mahima read the first verse of the Uttara Gita, describing the nature of the Supreme Brahman. So here, read the first verse. That means he was carrying some books. And taking out the book, he starts reading. Because he was carrying some books, Thakur knew that he would like to recite. Hey Brahman is one, partless, stainless, and beyond the ether. Ether was a name in those days for space. The scientist had conceived some matter called ether and it failed. But during the days of that translation, it was there. Without beginning or end, unknowable by mind or intelligence. Finally, he came to the 7th verse of the 3rd chapter. That means he went on reading from Uttar Gita, which reads, the twice born worships the deity in fire. Twice born, those whose sacred thread ceremony is done, is called twice born. Brahman, Kshatriya, and Vaishya all used to be called twice born. And they worship the fire. The Munis contemplate him in the heart, Vanvasis. Men of limited wisdom see him in the image, and the yogis who attend same-sightedness behold him everywhere. Oh. So, four types of people are described as a conclusion. Agnir Devo Dvijatinam Muninam Hridhi Daivatam Pratima Swalpa Buddhinam Sarvatra Samadarshinam. No sooner did the master hear the words yogis who have attained same-sightedness, then he stood up and went into samadhi. Because that is the final state, same-sightedness. So they worship in this and this and this. But when the talk of same-sightedness came, Thakur stood up and went into samadhi, his arm supported by the splint and bondage. Remember, all this is that broken arm. So he was above that consciousness. Speechless, the devotees looked at this yogi who had himself attained the state of same-sightedness. Pain, bandage, everything gone, body itself gone, stood up and went into samadhi. In the gospel, if we met something more repeated than others, it is Thakur's samadhi. Then during talk, we'll find this Kamini Kanchan repeated many times, woman and gold. And types of sadhana again and again in many types. But this is constant. After a long time, the master regained consciousness of the outer world and took his seat from standing. He asked Mahima to recite verses describing the love of God. So now, to come down to the immanent plane, he wants love of God. And so, he asked Mahima to sing about love of God. The latter recited from the Narada Pancharatra. There is a scripture called Narada Pancharatra where the devotion is described, and he takes out that book. What need is there of penance if God is worshipped with love? What is the use of penance if God is not worshipped with love? So, Mahima has brought a topic on love. The most important point is love of God. If you do not have that, nothing is useful. If you have that, nothing is necessary. What need is there of penance if God is seen within and without? What is the use of penance if God is not seen within and without? O Brahman, O my child, so it is Brahman is Brahmana. Cease from practicing further penances. Hasten to Shankara, the ocean of heavenly wisdom. So, in the Narada Pancharatra, Shiva is supposed to be the senior most devotee of Vishnu. And Shiva teaches people to have devotion for Vishnu. That is the concept. So Shankara is ocean of heavenly wisdom. Obtain from him the love of God, the pure love practiced by devotees. He will give you, which snaps in twain the shackles that bind you to the world. Oh. So the bondage will be broken into two and you will be free. This is the topic he took up. Master, he liked it very much. On hearing these verses, the master was about to go again into an ecstatic mood, but he restrained himself with effort. Mahima read from the Yati Panchaka. Yati is sannyasi, and he shifted because Mahima likes that path of knowledge. So, from Pancharatra, he shifts again to that Yati Panchaka. Yati Panchaka. Okay, let us read it. I am she, the Divine Mother, in whom the illusion of the universe of animate and inanimate things is seen, as in magic, and in whom the universe shines, being the play of her mind. I am she, the embodiment of consciousness, who is the self of the universe, the only existence, knowledge, and bliss. So, this is to Thakur's normal liking. When the master heard the line, I am she, the embodiment of consciousness, he said with a smile, whatever is in the microcosm is also in the macrocosm. Macrocosm means small atom or a man, and macrocosm means the cosmic, the universe. Next, Mahima read the 6 stanzas on Nirvana. So Mahima is very much like Thakur's telling you read something and is going on reading. And others are benefiting. Om, I am neither mind, intelligence, ego, nor chitta, neither ears nor tongue, nor the senses of smell and sight, nor am I ether, earth, fire, water, or air. I am pure knowledge and bliss. I am Shiva, I am Shiva. So Shiva is the embodiment of pure knowledge and bliss. That is what I am. This last line of every stanza and the first 3 lines of every stanza will be negation of many things of the world which appears real to an ordinary man. And so negating that, Shankaracharya says, I am the Satchid Ananda Shiva. Chidananda Rupa Shiva Om Shiva Om. I am neither the prana nor the 5 vital breaths, neither the 7 elements of the body nor its 5 sheaths, nor hands, nor feet, nor tongue, nor the organ of sex and voiding. I am pure knowledge and bliss. I am Shiva, I am Shiva. Neither loathing nor liking have I, neither greed nor delusion. No sense have I of ego or pride, neither dharma nor moksha, neither desire of the mind nor object for its desiring. I am pure knowledge and bliss. I am Shiva, I am Shiva. Neither right nor wrongdoing am I, neither pleasure nor pain. The normal worldly man's causes of feeling the world to be real. They are enumerated one after the other, telling I am not that. Neither right nor wrongdoing am I, neither pleasure nor pain, nor the mantra, the sacred place, the Vedas, the sacrifice, neither the act of eating, the eater, nor the food. I am pure knowledge and bliss. I am Shiva, I am Shiva. Death or fear I have none, nor any distinction of caste, neither father nor mother, nor even a birth have I. So, this father, mother, and birth are denied for the real nature of man. Neither friend nor comrade, neither disciple nor guru. I am pure knowledge and bliss. I am Shiva, I am Shiva. I have no form or fancy. The all pervading am I. Remember, all pervading am I. Everywhere I exist, yet I am beyond the senses. Neither salvation am I, nor anything that may be known. I am pure knowledge and bliss. I am Shiva, I am Shiva. Every time Mahima repeated, I am Shiva, the master rejoined with a smile, not I, not I, thou art knowledge absolute. Acha. Rejoin. You don't say, I am Shiva. Not I, not I, thou art knowledge absolute. So Thakur wanted to show to Mahima and everybody that I, in the sense of ego, is not all this. And so long as you have not grown over that ego, you should not say I, you should say thou, thou. So Thakur has shifted the attention to the actual position of man. Mahima read a few more verses and also a description of the 6 psychic centers of the body. So information he has plenty. He said that in Benares, he had witnessed the death of a yogi in the state of yoga. Mahima, there are fine passages in the Ramagita. Master, you are speaking of the Ramagita? Then you must be a staunch Vedantist. How many books of that kind the sadhus used to read here? So good Vedanti sadhus, having books of real Vedanta, used to come to Dakshineshwar and read those books, and from them Thakur has heard everything. Mahima recited the description of Om. It is like the unceasing flow of oil, like the long peal of a bell. Okay. Different examples for Om. About the characteristics of Samadhi he read, he is not stopping now. The man established in Samadhi sees the upper region filled with Atman, the nether region filled with Atman, the middle region filled with Atman. He sees all filled with Atman. Okay. Other and Mahima saluted the master and departed. Okay. So that was 2nd February. Then at noon on the following day, so that is 3rd February. After his midday meal, Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on this small coach where Ram Surendra and a few other devotees arrived from Calcutta. It appears to be a Sunday, no? Yes. 2nd February was given as Saturday. Yes, so next day is a Sunday. They were worried about the master's injured arm. The arm was bandaged, M was present. The devotees came to know, so on Sunday they got time to come and inquire. Master to the devotees, the mother has put me in such a state of mind that I cannot hide anything from anyone. Actually, yogis, paramahamsas, they don't want to show that they can even have a bodily defect. But Thakur is not of that kind. Mine is a condition of a child. Rakhal doesn't understand it. He covers my injured arm, wrapping my body with a cloth, lest others should see my injury and criticize me. He took Dr. Madhu aside and reported my illness. But I shouted and said, "Hello, where are you, Madhusudan? Come and see, my arm is broken." He does not like the least of hypocrisy, the least. I used to sleep in the same room with Mathur and his wife. See his naturalness, huh? Mathur and his wife, in that same room, Thakur was sleeping. They took care of me as if I were their own child. I was then passing through a state of divine madness. Mathur would ask me, Father, do you hear our conversation? Yes, I would reply. Once Mathur's wife became suspicious of his movements and said to him, if you go anywhere, he must accompany you. One day Mathur went to a certain place and asked me to wait downstairs. He returned after half an hour and said to me, come father, let us go now. The carriage is waiting. When Mathur's wife asked me about it, I reported the thing correctly. I said to her, we went to a certain house. He told me to stay downstairs and himself went upstairs. He came down after half an hour and we left the place. Of course, she understood the thing in her own way. So the hint is that Mathur has gone to enjoy something not in front of Thakur. A partner of Mathur's estate used to take fruits and vegetables stealthily from the temple garden. When the other partners asked me about it, I told them the exact truth. So Thakur's not only childlike nature, but his sticking to truth is unique in this world. And now a big gap again comes and we come to Sunday, February 24, 1884. From 3rd February to 24th February, 3 weeks. Sri Ramakrishna was resting in his room after his midday meal and Mani Mallik was sitting on the floor beside him. This is not Mahimacharana, this is Mani Mallik. In his house, the Brahma festival used to be done. When M arrived, M saluted the master and sat down beside Mani. The master's injured arm was bandaged, so 3 weeks have gone and the hand had to be bandaged all these days. Master to M, how did you come? M, I came as far as Alambazar in a carriage and from there I walked. Alambazar to Dakshineshwar is quite a distance. But Calcutta, Alambazar in a carriage. Manilal, oh, he is so hot. Master's M's body has become hot. Master with a smile, this make me think that all these are not mere fancies of my brain. Why I should come such a long distance? Otherwise, why should these Englishmen take so much trouble to come here? Englishmen means English educated young people imbued with Western ideas. This much is the content of Thakur saying Englishmen. English educated young men imbued with Western ideas. Sri Ramakrishna began to talk to them about his health and his injured arm. Master, now and then I become impatient about my arm. I show it to this or that man and ask him whether I shall get well again. That makes Rakhal angry. Again, he's bringing Rakhal in that. He doesn't understand my mood. Now and then I said to myself, let him go away. Rakhal. Again I said to mother, Mother, where will he go? Why should he burn himself in the frying pan of the world? This childlike impatience of mine is nothing new. I used to ask Mathur Babu to feel my pulse and tell me whether I was ill. So simple like a child. Well, where there is my faith in God, he himself asks questions. Apparently contradictory things, if they exist in him, there must be an explanation. And so people should know that critical analysis, that is his idea. Once I was going to Kamarpukur in a bullock cart, when several persons came up to the cart with clubs in their hands, dacoits. They looked like highwaymen. Highwaymen, they stop people on the highway and loot them, like that is called highwaymen. I began to chant the names of the gods. Sometimes I repeated the names of Rama and Durga, and sometimes Om Tat Sat, so that in case one failed, another would. This is very childlike, and the fun is that he is repeating that before others and asking, where is my faith? To him, can you tell me why I am so impatient? So he wants Master Marsha and everybody to critically analyze his mind and actions. And your mind, sir, is always absorbed in samadhi. You have kept a fraction of it on your body for the welfare of the devotees. So Master Marsha has now understood very well. Therefore, you feel impatient now and then for your body's safety. Now, that is the explanation. Master, that is true. That is why I had asked him. A little of the mind is attached to the body. It wants to enjoy the love of God and the company of the devotees. That is why it is attached, means it feels the presence of the body. Mani Malik told the master about an exhibition that was being held in Calcutta. He described a beautiful image of Yashoda with the baby Krishna on her lap. Sri Ramakrishna's eyes filled with tears. On hearing about Yashoda, the embodiment of maternal love, his spiritual consciousness was kindled and he wept. Ah. So hand bandage goes away. Manilal, if you were not unwell, you could visit the exhibition in the Maidan. Maidan, in the big city of Calcutta, there is a big field, so that is called Maidan. Master, to him and the others, I shan't be able to see everything even if I go. Perhaps my eyes will fall on some certain thing and I shall become unconscious. He knows what happens. Then I shall not be able to see the rest. I was taken to the zoological garden. I went into samadhi at the sight of the lion. Why? For the carrier of the mother awakened in my mind the consciousness of the mother herself. Singha Vahini is the mother. So seeing Singha, the carrier, he thought of the mother. In that state, who could see the other animals? I had to return home after seeing only the lion. Hence, Jadu Malik's mother first suggested that I should go to the exhibition and then said I should not. So he's telling you should go to exhibition. He said Jadu's mother had already said that, but said you need not. You should not. Mani Malik, about 65 years old, had been a member of the Brahma Samaj for many years, and Sri Ramakrishna gave him instruction that would agree with his mood. So that is Thakur's speciality. How many ways he can think of God? How many ways he knows that thinking of God is valid? How many ways he can teach people to think of God in different ways? That is the unique thing about him, and that is why Swamiji calls him Avatar Varishtha. Master, Pandit Jayanarayan had very liberal views. I visited, and Thakur liked that. I visited him once and liked his attitude. But his sons were high boots, wore high boots. He told me he intended to go to Banaras and live there. and at last he carried out his intention. For later on he did live in Benares and die there. The faith, Hindu faith, is that if you die in Benares, you are liberated. And Jainarayan was a staunch devotee. He believed in that. He went to Kashi and died there. When one grows old, one should retire like Jainarayan and devote oneself to the thought of God. What do you say? Manila also has become old now. So he is not asking him to go to Kashi, but he should think of God now. Manila, true sir, I don't relish the worries and troubles of the world. Master, Gauri Pandit, Tantric Sadhak. Gauri used to worship his wife with the offerings of flowers. All women are manifestations of the Divine Mother. To Manilal, please tell them that little story of yours. So ask Manilal to tell a story so that Mani's mind also will be filled with that. Manilal, smiling. Once several men were crossing the Ganges in a boat. One of them, a Pandit, was making a great display of his erudition, saying that he had studied various books, the Vedas, the Vedanta, and the system of philosophy. He asked a fellow passenger, do you know the Vedanta? No, revered sir. The Sankhya and the Patanjala? No, revered sir. Have you read no philosophy whatsoever? No, revered sir. The Pandit was talking in this way, and the passenger sitting in silence, when a great storm arose and the boat was about to sink. The passenger said to the Pandit, sir, can you swim? No, replied the Pandit. The passenger said, I don't know the Sankhya or the Patanjala, but I can swim, which is more necessary in life. And that is Manila's story. Master smiling. What will a man gain by knowing many scriptures? The one thing needed is to know how to cross the river of the world. God alone is real and all else is illusory. So that comes as another point which Thakur has repeated ad infinitum. The essence of Vedanta. While Arjuna was aiming his arrow at the eye of the bird, Drona asked him, Drona is the teacher of archery. What do you see? Do you see these kings? No, sir, replied Arjuna. Do you see me? No. The tree? No. The bird on the tree? No. What do you see then? Only the eye of the bird. So, concentration of the mind, Thakur is teaching through Arjuna. He who only sees only the eye of the bird can hit the mark. He alone is clever, who sees that God is real and all else is. So he is using this story for this. All else is illusory. What need have I of other information? Hanuman once remarked, I don't know anything about the phase of the moon or the position of the stars. I only contemplate Rama. To M, not Mahimachal, Manila. Please buy a few fans for our use here. So we'll see, and we have been seeing that in the sense of the body and the world, Thakur's son is Master Mahasaya. And for his physical needs, he always used to ask Master Mahasaya. And Master Mahasaya became the duty or his sadhana to supply the needed things to Thakur. But Thakur taught him thrift also, that he should not spend more than needed. To Manilal, Thakur now telling Master Mahasaya to buy few fans, then he talks to Manilal. Look here, pay a visit to his, meaning M's father. The sight of a devotee will inspire you. So M's father also is a devotee, and Thakur wants Manilal to go to him. To him, since my arm was injured, a deep change has come over me. I now delight only in the Nara Leela, the human manifestation of God, not the abstract or divine. Nitya and Leela, the absolute and manifestation. The Nitya is the indivisible Satchidananda, and the Leela or sport takes various forms, such as the Leela as God. Ishvara itself is a Leela, creator, preservation, destroyer. The Leela is the deities, different devatas are the divine Leelas. The Leela as man and the Leela as the universal. So different types of immanence. Vaishnacharan used to say that one has attained perfect knowledge if one believes in God sporting as man. I wouldn't admit it then, but now I realize that he was right. Vaishnacharan liked pictures of man expressing tenderness and love. Appreciates where whatever is to be appreciated. To Manilal, it is God himself who is sporting in the form of man. It is he alone who has become Manimalli. The Sikhs teach, thou art Satchidananda. So he is very happy with the Sikhs also. And Sikhs are very happy with him. Now and then, man catches a glimpse of his real self and becomes speechless with wonder. At such times, he swims in an ocean of joy. It is like suddenly meeting a dear relative. Oh, in the Taitira, in the Anandamaya Kosha, meeting of a dear relative is described as one of the forms of joy. To him, the other day as I was coming here in a carriage, I felt like that at the sight of Baburam. Oh. When Shiva realizes his own self, he dances about in joy, claiming, what am I, what am I? So, in the world, if somebody is dear to you, in Brahman, it is manifestation of Brahman. And in Thakur, he shows the example through Baburam and describes about his own nature and also Shiva's nature. The same thing has been described in the Adhyatma Ramayana. That Ramgita is a part of that Adhyatma Ramayana. Narada said, O Rama, all men are thy forms, and it is Sita who has become all women. On looking at the actors in the Ram Leela, I felt that Narayana himself had taken these human forms. The genuine and the imitation appear to be the same. So they are imitation. But for Thakur, the reality itself appears. That should be the result of seeing dramas. Why do people worship virgins? All women are so many forms of the Divine Mother, but her manifestation is greater in pure souled virgins. Here, Kumari Puja. Kumari Puja. It is actually not virgin elderly lady. A small girl is met by Kumari Puja. And there, the mind is not yet polluted, and through her, the Divine Mother can be worshipped. To him, why do I become impatient when I am ill? So he had asked that question. Now he himself is replying. Because the mother has placed me in the state of a child. The child depends entirely on its mother. The child of the maid servant, when he quarrels with the child of the master, says, I shall tell my mother. Aha. So the child has 100% faith in his mother. Socially, his mother can't do anything against the child of the owner. But that child does not know. He knows my mother is all powerful. That should be the faith about Divine Mother. I was taken to Radha Bazar to be photographed. It had been arranged that I should go to Rajendra Mitra's house that day. I heard that Keshav would be there. I planned to tell them certain things, but I forgot it all when I went to Radha Bazar. I said, O mother, thou wilt speak. What shall I say? So, keeping something in the mind, but then depending on the mother. I am not the nature of a jnani. He considers himself great. He says, what? How can I be ill? So, that is the jnani. Thakur is like a child. Enough per day. So, little of this conversion remains, but we'll do it tomorrow. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kaviviridhitam Kalmashapam Shravanamangalam Shrimadatatam Bhui Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana Om Shanti 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 Hare Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Religion has become living, no